So Jesus tells this story about a fellow who was working for owner of a big household, the ancient equivalent of a CEO, and master called him in, asked him for an account of the books, and evidently it wasn't so neat, so he started scrambling, wasn't sure what to do. He has a thought, goes out to his master's debtors and says, take the bill, cut it in half, pay it now, and it's done. And everybody's convinced that the master's awfully generous today. So when the big man rolls back into town, he's no doubt greeted by people who are excited. Thank you for the half off sale. We always knew you were a good guy. This kind of thing. And all of a sudden he finds himself stuck. What does he do with this manager who's giving away his money? He can't really fire him now because everybody loves him. So he decides to commend the dishonest manager, Jesus says, because he was shrewd in dealing with the wealth of this world. And Jesus tells that story and introduces this tactic of what I call economic friendship. He says, use money to make friends. I think, that might sound a little bit crass to lots of us. After all, shouldn't friendship be about something more deep and authentic and this kind of thing? But I find Jesus deeply realistic here in saying that because money is more, because people are more important than money, you use money for the sake of relationships. You use money to make friends. And that's really all money's good for. It ain't good for storing up. It ain't good for sort of investing your own worth in. If I could just get more of it, then I know I'm somebody. Money's best used to make friends, and if you can get rid of it that way fast, it's less likely to corrupt you. So this idea of economic friendship, I think, is important, and something that really is always bringing us into community, because whatever resources we have, I think our question is, how can we use them to make friends, to meet new folks, and I think it breaks down some of the barriers that are there between people because of the assumptions we have about people who have and people who don't. And I remember this one night I had carried a friend of ours up to detox real late, and I was coming back into the neighborhood, driving up the street out here, and it's a summer evening. I had the windows down. I stopped at the stop sign, and I heard somebody holler. I didn't immediately recognize them, so I rolled up a little bit in the car and looked out, and I realized that there was this woman who was soliciting me and wanted to know if I wanted her to come home with me. And I asked her, well, how come you feel like you need to sell your body? And she said, well, I'm hungry. And so I said, well, get on in. You can come home and eat with me. And so she got in the car and came up here to the house, and I started making a grilled cheese sandwich over here. She sat down with Leah, and they started talking about her life. And it was a moment of sharing fellowship, of being together, and of getting to know somebody who was so broken, I think, at such a low point that she felt like she needed to use her body to make a dollar. And I feel like God's economy kind of turns that on its head and gives us a chance to use what we have, our grilled cheese sandwiches, our table, our home, use it to make friends, because as a matter of fact, I think we need that neighbor of ours as much as she needs us, and we can't get to the beloved community that Jesus invites us into until we've been able to share life with one another. So I think that's what the tactic of economic friendship is about, and what Jesus is inviting us into with the story of the shrewd manager.